make chocolate chip cookies. I've gotten a lot of compliments on this recipe and I'm happy to share it with you today. The ingredients are 1 cup of butter, some organic sucanat, and that stands for sugar cane natural. It's actually sugar cane, just like your white sugar, but this is unrefined, so it's brown. I ran out of eggs a couple of recipes ago when I made these, and I had this egg replacer in my cabinet. And the cookies, believe it or not, turned out better without the egg and using the egg replacer, so we're going to use it in this one. You can get this at Kroger, probably some other grocery stores too. The sucanat you can get through Amazon.com. You can get it at Whole Foods, and you can also get it at Kroger. Also, we're going to be using vanilla, salt, baking soda, and chocolate chips, the semi-sweet. I like to get, I'm going to show them that. I like to get the store brand. Just they're a little less expensive, and to me they're every bit as good. So let's get started. Okay, it's time to mix the ingredients together. We're going to mix the dry ingredients first, and that's just so you don't get a glob of salt or baking soda or something like that in your batter. Okay, this way you get it nice and stirred first. So let's mix the dry ingredients first. We've got 2 cups of flour. We're going to add a teaspoon of salt. It's already been measured. And we're going to add a teaspoon of baking soda. And when I put my baking soda in, I like to use my thumb to get it out of the teaspoon and break up any chunks that might be there, because sometimes you can leave a chunk and bite into it in your cookie. You don't want that. Okay? That should be it, and whisk it together. And that's all there is. Now we're going to mix the wet ingredients, and we have this. We're going to mix the wet, I'm just going to bring them to you. We're going to mix the wet ingredients. And this butter's been softened for about, I don't know, probably an hour now. And I like to use just a stiff fork to get it mixed up. We can add the sugar. You want me to add it in there? Sure. We're gonna do. This is 1.5 cups of sugar, of sucanat. Okay. And we'll add the vanilla in a minute. Now I'm going to show you how to do this egg replacer. I'm going to go ahead and make sure this is good and mixed. The egg replacer I talked about earlier mixes, let's see, you do 2 tablespoons of water plus 1.5 teaspoons of egg replacer. So here's a teaspoon, 1.5. Right there. It's kind of like cornstarch. I think there might be cornstarch in it. I don't remember. I'll look at the ingredients here in a sec. There's that. And you just whisk it together. And it looks like cornstarch and water. It doesn't look anything like an egg, but it acts like an egg. And one of the things they say on the box is you got to just try it. It works for some recipes. It doesn't work for others. I was real pleasantly surprised when I used it. It actually gave my cookies a little bit of the crispness as well as keeping them soft. So, which is really nice. Okay, let me just tell you guys what's in this. Potato starch, tapioca flour, some leavening, and a couple other things. But it's there's no dairy in it, so of course I got 2 sticks of butter in there, so kind of messes up the non-dairy thing. And that's it, and it's kind of foaming up just a little bit. And we can add that. There you go.
Plus it gets your arms strong.
That's right. And then the vanilla.
You can add that in there.
Okay. There's the vanilla. Now we're going to mix it up and we'll come back to you in just a minute. Okay, now we're going to mix our ingredients together. The butter mixture is starting mixing it. Kind of hold it up so they can see the consistency. Kind of put the fork up so they can kind of see. Okay. Yep. And it's kind of thick. I just wanted to show them like this. I don't know if that helps, but it stays on the fork like that. Okay? And which is perfect. That's what you want. You don't want it real runny. Like you don't want to put your butter in the microwave or something like that and get it too runny. Okay, and we're going to add the flour. This is the flour with the salt and baking soda. And they always say gradually add. Well, there it is. And while Holly's mixing that up, I just want to say the chocolate chips, I keep them in the freezer. I haven't done any scientific studies, but I think that by keeping them frozen until the last minute, I think it helps them not to cook as much. So when the cookies actually come out, when you get to eat them, the chocolate is real nice and just gooey. You know, it's not overdone, it's not crisp. Also, if you have an electric oven especially, you can put a pan down below the pan that you're cooking on. So you're going to cook, let's see, my rack that I cook on, it's got 5 levels and I'm on the second one from the top, so almost the center of the oven. Well, then I go down 2 levels below that, so near the bottom, and I put a pan. My pan is like really nasty looking, but I leave it in there all the time to cook underneath my cookies, and that way the bottom of the cookies don't get real hard and crisp before the cookie's done. So especially in an electric oven, I used to get comments about how there's no way I could have cooked these in an electric oven, but I had an electric oven for 7 years, and fortunately I have gas now. It's a lot easier to cook with, but you can still do the same thing with the electric. Just put that pan underneath it and it'll help you out. All right, we're going to finish mixing this and we'll get back to you. Okay, you can eat the dough because there's no eggs in it. You put eggs in it, you're taking a risk, salmonella, so I don't eat the dough when they put eggs in it, but egg replacer, no eggs, right? We're going to add the chocolate chips. Usually I can't fit a whole bag in there. When I was a kid and I'd make these little different recipe, I never had enough chocolate chips, and I didn't figure it out till I was older, but my brothers would eat all the chips out of the dough. So we're going to mix this up. We're also preheating the oven to 375 degrees. Okay, now I'm just putting the dough onto the cookie sheets. I got caught eating the dough. You should end up with 12, 24, 48, about 4 dozen cookies, unless you eat a lot of dough. And then it might be closer to 3. I'm going to get these lined up. I cook 1 sheet at a time. You could do 2 if you had 4 sheets. I think it'd be fine, but I've only got 2, and it takes about as much time because once you've cooked one of them, you got to wait for the sheet to cool before you can remove the cookies. I do not grease the pans. No need to. I got 2 sticks of butter in there. They come right off. And this is just a stainless steel cooking sheet. All right. Okay, the cookies are done, and we're going to try them. There were a couple things I wanted to mention. If you don't have egg replacer, just use 1 egg. And also they cook for 12 minutes. All right, let's give it a shot.